If you're in the mood to transition real quick, we have a very interesting top 8 match going on with Average Pikachu and IAmThereforeIAm. I know we've been
Oh my God.
yeah, we've been pretty interested in seeing IAm's team, considering his team is very out there and very wacky. So I feel like this would be a fun match to stream. So we're moving into top 8. These players are just going at their own pace, so the necessity to jump around is definitely there. So we might just go ahead and hop right into this top 8 match between Average Pikachu and IAmThereforeIAm.
That's that. Huh? That's the Pokemon there. That's a Lopunny. And the Raquanid.
Yeah,
Mandibuzz.
suppo-
All right. Let me try to break this down a little bit. Process what what we're really seeing. I mean, this is an insane team. It's crazy that he's like doing so well in this tournament. Is this another top 16 or is
no,
this
this is
top
this
8?
is a top 8 match. There's only one more top 16 match going on right now, but I know we've been interested in this team for a little bit, so I feel like it would be cool to feature it.
I mean, this matchup, I think clearly like what sways this matchup for either player is getting your Kyogre in speed, because once you get your Kyogre in speed control, there's no real like switch-ins. I don't think Araquanid on Average Pikachu side probably is wide guard, right? That's probably the only way he has to position around opposing Kyogre and Tailwinds. But there's a taunt on Tornadus, there's Hurricane on Tornadus that can help deal with the Araquanid. But it's worth remembering that in this generation, types are immune to Pranksters, so this Mandibuzz cannot get taunted by Tornadus. So it's still able to set up Tailwind even in the face of Torn. So we might see like both Tailwinders come out as a lead. Probably both are going to want to go for Tailwinds early on and try to position their Kyogres that way. In terms of lead options, like next to their Tailwinders, maybe Scarf Lele is an option. And yeah, that's exactly what we see. The Scarf Lele come out as we see, instead of the Torn, just straight Amoonguss Kyogre here. And for Average Pikachu, this is really what you want to see, right? Because you're able to go for a fast Psychic attack into that Amoonguss, get Tailwind for your own Kyogre, but it goes for a great read here. Slash Shocking right into that Kyogre. And actually not necessarily a read, right? Because Taunt locks down the Amoonguss slot anyways. So it gets off that Side Shock Tailwind, and it's pretty big damage to start the game,
Yeah,
Actually, that is a bit of a read, because if he just Rage Spout or Water Spouts there, that could have maybe ended pretty poorly.
yeah. Amoonguss protecting there, just to likely mitigate a potential Psychic type attack or a taunt coming into Amoonguss. But Average Pikachu makes a great play and just targets down the Kyogre, mitigating a ton of damage that Water Spout would have done into it. But I mean, Amoonguss is still sitting at full health here. I can't remember if we saw the item on Amoonguss in the earlier set. There's a chance it could be Sash, but oh yeah,
Yeah.
so it is Focus Sash. As we're going to see Origin Pulse here pick up the knockout on top of Lele, as we're going to see the taunt go into the Amoonguss, which Rage Powders this turn, so it just redirects any and all damage away from it.
I think actually this game is over. Like the second Tailwind goes up, Kyogre just wins. Right? The second Tailwind goes up, Kyogre just comes out and just starts clicking Water Spout, and that's the end of that. So I'm surprised that turn. Actually, no, the taunt makes sense, right? Because he probably knows he's Sash, right? But you got to see, the Tailwinds come out now at this point in time. And just an effort to switch into Kyogre or get Kyogre on the field. Instead, we see a Photon Geyser into the opposing Kyogre, switch into Incineroar. Great switch there. Deny any damage on this turn. And he gets the Xerneas out in the field, which is exactly what he needed in this scenario. Because if he didn't get Xerneas out on the field, Kyogre got out in the field for Average Pikachu, that was pretty much the end of the game, especially in Psychic terrain, because it can't even get faked out with Speed Control and Water Spout. So I am making the exact plays he needs to get some position back. So we'll see if it's enough, because, I mean, this is still a pretty scary Ultra Necrozma and Tailwind. It can just barrel off these powerful Psychic type attacks into this Xerneas. And even if you pick up the KO with Incineroar, as I said previously, that Kyogre comes right in.
Yeah, this Necrozma, yeah, definitely bringing in Kyogre under speed control would have pretty much meant the end of the game with Average Pikachu taking it. But this, now that you have Xerneas facing down both a Mandibuzz and a Ultra Necrozma, you have the threat of potential taunt here from Mandibuzz, but IAm kind of recognizes that. Also, the Psychic Terrain boosted Z move here that goes into the Amoonguss. We still haven't seen whether or not this Necrozma is physical or special. Usually with Duskmane, it can kind of go either way with Duskmane. Either you have the Photon Geyser Earth Power set that usually runs either a third attacking move or Calm Mind, or the physical attacking set that we saw from Aegis Cave earlier with the Swords Dance and Sunsteel Strike. But Light That Burns the Sky or Photon Geyser doesn't really tell us much, since Photon Geyser can go either way. But that Amoonguss is going to be knocked out as Incineroar U-turns into Rayquaza, and now it's Kyogre and Xerneas versus both of Average Pikachu's restricteds.
An Average Pikachu making exactly the play he needed to make there by getting Kyogre out onto the field while he still has 2 turns of Tailwind and a turn of Psychic Terrain, so he can't even bring Incineroar and Fake Out here. Now can just, go for a Psychic type attack into the Xerneas or into the Kyogre. Well, you probably target Xerneas down here, right? Since Kyogre's not really threatening anything. Go for a Psychic type into the Xerneas, go for that Water move. And pretty much clean up the game with your Kyogre and Tailwind at this point.
Yeah, Incineroar can go for a Fake Out here, but it's not really going to matter too much, since pretty much either one of these Pokemon are going to be able to either just heavily damage Kyogre or just straight up knock it out. But we're going to see the Ice Beam go into the Mandibuzz, switching in for Ultra Necrozma. Again, not really gonna do too much here, as Water Spout is going to be able to pick up the knockout on Incineroar, and with this Kyogre being at basically 0% health against a Ultra Necrozma and a I guess it's not a faster Kyogre, either that or they speed tie, but yeah, Ultra Necrozma just able to fire a Photon Geyser and clean up the game for Average Pikachu.
Yeah, real quick, that Kyogre just moved before the Ultra Necrozma outside of Tailwind. So the Kyogre outspeeds the Ultra Necrozma. And also, IAm has the faster Kyogre, which is actually kind of huge for game 2, right? Because if you have the faster Kyogre when you've matched Tailwinds, that usually means you have the advantage. So IAm probably going to realize that. I think he should, instead of opting, for that, more balanced positional route with Incineroar and Amoonguss as the slow Pokemon, knowing that his Kyogre is faster than both the Ultra Necrozma and the Kyogre, you could probably opt for that Torn mode now pretty safely, because he knows that he's going to be getting off his water type moves first. Yeah, which room are we in?
This appears to be game 3, because the game 2 one isn't public for some reason. Okay, we just got the invite. Cool. All right, so this is game 2.
Okay, nice.
So going into game 2 here, let's see. So I am taking the L in the game in the first game. I guess trying to maintain that speed control presence. I feel like Mandibuzz was kind of annoying for IAm to deal with, since he really doesn't have any ways of hitting it heavily, since it has that special defense boost from the Psychic Seed. And since Xerneas kind of bit the dust early on there, you didn't really have a ways of hitting Mandibuzz. So I mean, your ways of keeping up speed control, or the ways of mitigating speed control, were very limited for IAm. But going into game 2, we're going to see the exact same leads coming out from both players. It'll be interesting to see how they shake things up.
I think he really needed to try to go with that Torn option. Instead, he's going with the Amoonguss here. And again, he's going to do that Rage Powder on the first turn so he can get off that huge Water Spout. We actually see Sash on the Lele. I was assuming it was just Scarf. Sash actually coming in huge here, because now we're in that same position again where you can get that Tailwind going off. And Lele, now because of Sash, also is in a position where it can get off a free attack here. May be optimal just to Moonblast into that Amoonguss slot, because it's guaranteed, but I mean, the Protect there, works. I think you kind of just had a free chance to go for an attack, and if you go down, then you would have gotten your free switch in your Kyogre, but I don't think Protects, was optimal there. But he went for it, got his Tailwind up, and now Tailwind also goes up on IAM's side as he picks up that KO. And the Snarl is actually huge there, because now his Kyogre definitely has the advantage, and IAM did make proper adjustment in bringing that Torn. He's also in a position where his Tailwind ends one turn after Average Pikachu. I think from his perspective now, what he needs to try to do is position his Kyogre so it can get off as much damage as possible during that turn, so it can deny the Mandibuzz from getting up a second Tailwind.
Yeah, we see Torn come in here to match the Tailwind here that was set up by Mandibuzz. But now we're going to see Tornadus go for the Supersonic Sky Strike into this. Wow, that did absolutely nothing, especially after the Snarl and the Psychic Seed boost as, ooh, we see the Trick Room coming out here in anticipation of the Tailwind going down the next turn, as we're going to see Kyogre come in here and basically be able to fire off a free Water Spout in here. But, I mean, I guess now that Trick Room's up, in Trick Room, yeah, he does have to be wary of the Amoonguss sitting in the back here, especially if he decides to sacrifice his Tornadus here to get that free switch into Amoonguss, because now Amoonguss is at much higher health now. Well, it's actually not that high of health, but now Amoonguss being the fastest Pokemon on the field now, because of Trick Room, makes things a bit awkward here for Average Pikachu. Though, if he really wanted to, he could KO this Amoonguss, but not going to be the case this turn, as Amoonguss is going to go for Protect, which is going to prevent any damage going into it, aka the Photon Geyser and the Water Spout, as Water Spout comes out from IAm, which crits the Kyogre, doing a little bit, and does a bit of damage to Necrozma.
The Protect on the Amoonguss there is pretty nice. He was probably trying to read into a Psychic move and Ice Beam into the Amoonguss to kill it, no matter what he sleep, you know. But Average Pikachu going instead for the Water Spout there. Water Spout, I don't know, probably would have killed him anyway, so probably still a good play. Now he can probably Spore this Kyogre, go for a Water move into the Mufasa, and once he's dealt with that, I think his Xerneas in the back might be able to come out and swim up. So I think while setting up Trick Room on the surface seems like at the time when he did it, like a decent play. What he ended up doing actually was giving this Amoonguss, you know, the chance to really start wreaking some havoc and doing some harm here.
Yeah, I just remember that you said that the Kyogre outsped the Ultra Necrozma, meaning that this Necrozma is actually faster under Trick Room, which allows it to get the KO on Amoonguss before Kyogre even moves to take it out. So Amoonguss off the table.
He's okay with that because now he can just double protect to stall out the Trick Room. Nothing can be done about it, really. Yeah, exactly. That's what we see. So now he's in a position this following turn where he can just probably just Earth Spout even with his Kyogre to still kill the. Actually, that might be risky to Water Spout. And they'll probably get it anyways, right? And it's guaranteed to hit. Just go for a Geomancy and then sweep from there. So while his Amoonguss didn't put anything to sleep, I think it still definitely did its job while in Trick Room and setting up this Xerneas sweep late game with its offensive pressure or Spore pressure, which allowed Kyogre to do enough damage onto this Cosma.
Yeah, just the threat of that Amoonguss being on the field was honestly enough, because that attention that being directed towards Amoonguss kind of diverted attention away from that Kyogre. And with the Geomancy going up here from IAm, that pretty much is going to finish up the game, as a single Kyogre is not going to be enough to take on.
That was a scary Origin Pulse there.
Yeah, that Origin Pulse, if that didn't connect, that would have given Kyogre a free hit, but fortunately, it does connect for IAm, and now we're heading into Game 3.
Also, I think one of the plays I wanted to highlight from that game that was like a great play was that Protect on the Amoonguss, you know, because like your Amoonguss is in Trick Room, right? You think, oh, I want to get off as many sports as possible. Why would I want to protect? But that was definitely the optimal play because he's trying to set up the Zern sweep for late in the game, right? So he still needs to stall out Trick Room, even though he's got an Amoonguss that's sitting on the field. Also because the Amoonguss is threatened by two things. So the Protect not only helps him stall out Trick Room, but also helps him get that extra damage he needed on the Ultra Necrozma to, you know, get off a second attack on the following turn and guarantee put it in the KO range.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these players adjust going into this match. Obviously, Amoonguss has been a big factor in this. It was a big factor in IAM's Game 2 plan, as, you know, it kind of stopped the threat of Trick Room coming out from Average Pikachu. But yeah, I just think IAM was able to position his Xerneas a lot better that last game, and I think positioning Xerneas better in this game will be the key to victory. As we're going to see Tornadus lead here, as Average Pikachu goes for the Game 1 and 2 lead of Tapu Lele and Mandibuzz.
Figured that for Average Pikachu, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think going with Lele Mandibuzz is, you can't really be stopped. I am. Maybe the only way is if he has Taunt Gengar or something like that. But oh no, Hurricane Confusion. Oh man, that was dangerous. But I think going for the right play and just kind of targeting down that Lele to get rid of it immediately. And the Snarl comes out and damages the Kyogre, but I think Average Pikachu take that turn, right? Because now he can just switch out his Kyogre into, you know, whatever he wants for Tailwinds with the Tornadus. Um, and his Xerneas is probably going to outspeed the Ultra Necrozma. Actually, it might be close because I can't remember if we saw it last game or not. Uh, the Kyogre outspeeds the Ultra Necrozma. The Xerneas undersped the Kyogre, so we're actually aren't sure if the Xerneas for sure outspeeds the Ultra Necrozma yet. But I think here you can just switch out the Kyogre. Oh no!
Oh,
Forgot that.
taunted into the. Oh,
Oh,
wow. That's a costly mistake there from IAM because that allows Mandibuzz to get a free Tailwind off
oh no!
while Necrozma able to pick up the free knockout onto this Kyogre here as Xerneas is going to come in, which does not like facing down a Duskmane Necrozma.
That's over. I mean, he is now doesn't even have any point to Ultra Bursting. No reason to. All it's going to do is make you just more weak to this Xerneas. And so you can just spam Snarl and attacks with Mufasa this game out. I was thinking there he kind of always just needs the Tailwind with Torn just to match the opposing Tailwinds and switch the Kyogre out because we know it's faster than everything on average Pikachu, right? So whenever he brings it back in, he can do damage. Maybe and like he's got to have a Mungus in the back too to in case he decides to go for the Trick Room option as well. He still has plays for that, so he could have switched into a Mungus there. So I thought that maybe was going to be Tailwind switch to Amoonguss on that turn, to be perfectly honest. And average Pikachu would have had to read it somehow with like the Room and Taunt on the same turn. I was thinking that might have been his outs there. The taunt into the Mandibuzz, as I mentioned like earlier in team preview, you can't taunt dark types because you're prankster. It's rough. And he also ice beamed into the thing that did not ultra burst. He also lost his Kyogre for nothing, lost speed control for nothing. Just an absolute brutal turn by all definitions of the word.
Yeah, just no mileage being gained there, and honestly, a lot of mileage being lost because now your Kyogre, which was honestly probably the biggest threat to average Pikachu's team, is just gone. And now with Necrozma not needing to Ultra Burst here, it can kind of just sit here and click Photon Geyser, which is likely what it will do here. Oh, actually, wait, it has Sunsteel Strike too. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's probably better, yeah. And he also is making the smart play of not killing the Tornadus to give it a free switch in. Like, he has no reason to do anything, like, to damage this thing. Probably has Amoonguss in the back, though, right? So, And yeah, I guess if Amoonguss comes in, you can still just taunt it anyways. Snarl actually probably... Yeah, you actually kind of... Yeah, you want to Snarl because it breaks Focus Sash on Amoonguss. Snarl actually notably outspeeds the Ultra Necrozma. So after you Snarl here, you wouldn't be able to just outspeed and hit the next turn and then have Mandibuzz attacks redirected. But I don't think that matters much. I don't think you want to do anything other than Snarl and just keep clicking Sunsteel Strike anyways until Amoonguss comes in. Then you want to go for that Psychic type attack as so will break the sub and break the Focus Sash. And Xerneas just protected last turn as well. So it's free here, right? It's a free Sunsteel Strike into it. It's a free Snarl. But we see the Amoonguss switch.
Yeah, it's just like it doesn't seem that IM has many ways of dealing with this combination right now because even with Amoonguss coming in, it's still going to take a ton of damage from that Sunsteel Strike. And, with Tornadus sitting at -3, 4 special attack now, basically it's not going to be doing a lot of damage. That Z move did 16%, 12 to 16%, so not even like a noticeable amount of damage onto that Mandibuzz here. And
where is outs here? Really? Like, what can he do?
I'm not sure. See, that's the thing, because like Necrozma can kind of just sit here and click buttons the entire rest of the game.
I think there's only one way, right? Like, I think the taunt comes into Amoonguss here, right? Steel Strike goes into the Torn. So you could Photon Geyser Amoonguss and Snarl as well. In either case, I think Tornadus here starts to have... He's got to start going for Hurricane Confusions, I think.
Yeah.
Just get super lucky, hit Hurricane, get the Confusion, and then hope that the Mufasa just hits itself in Confusion into Oblivion while his Xerneas can Geomancy and hopefully get a couple free turns where he can get off attacks.
Yeah, it's not a reliable out, but it certainly is.
Oh, no.
It is what you would define as an out. But this Photon Geyser just going to go into Tornadus, just put it out of its misery.
It's yeah.
And Xerneas now being taunted, not having the ability to protect, just pretty much leaves it wide open to a Necrozma attack, and that should be pretty much able to clean up this game. As once Amoonguss gets taunted, can't really support Xerneas at all. So like,
Hold up. Maybe Moonblast here. Oh man, the buzz. So I don't think so because of the special defense boost. It might be close. Might even be a roll. Maybe on both of their sets. If the Moonblast is able to bop the Zern bop it here. Oh, it's not. That's
yeah,
unfortunate.
not quite. It helps though.
But he didn't taunt the Amoonguss. I was thinking maybe like.
I mean, I guess he
if
could just
taunt-
KO it. That also works.
But I was thinking, yeah, it doesn't matter. I was thinking his only way out was if he stopped the Mandibuzz Moonblast, and maybe the Amoonguss took the Photon Geyser. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he could have gone for a Spore into the Ultra Necrozma, and then maybe Amoonguss could have given him some outs. But even then, I mean, just Kyogre comes in, Kyogre finishes off the Amoonguss. You maybe have to hope for max sleep turns to even have a chance. It was just on that turn where you taunted into the Mandibuzz and Kyogre got lost for nothing. Both on the same turn was just it's just too brutal to come back from, really. But GG's to Average Pikachu, as with definitely the most unique team we've seen so far in this tournament. On into the money.
Yeah, into the money. Yeah, because top four does get a percentage of the prize payout, and according to our TO, it looks like top four will be receiving at least $43, $43.50. So
Changing money.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the big bucks, but we definitely take those. That is free money.